So you can just imagine the exiles sitting there by that canal, maybe feeling relatively secure physically in Tel Aviv, but spiritually crushed, asking those devastating questions. Is God still with us? Does he only live back in Jerusalem? Did his promises fail? How can we even worship him without a temple?
Deep, understandable despair. And the answer God provides through Ezekiel isn't necessarily comforting in the way we think of comfort. The answer centers on God's absolute faithfulness to his entire word and the non-negotiable priority of his own glory.
Meaning he had to fulfill the judgment parts of the covenant, the curses, just as reliably as he fulfills the blessing parts.
Exactly. Why? Because his reputation, his character, his very glory was at stake. If he made promises, including promises of judgment for specific sins, and then didn't follow through, he wouldn't be the faithful, unchanging God he claims to be.
To really feel the weight of this, maybe we should quickly look back at what Israel actually agreed to. These weren't hidden clauses in the covenant contract.
Yeah.
Moses laid out the consequences of disobedience very explicitly back in Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah.
It was meant to motivate them to obey.
Stark reading.
Let's just take a couple of examples. Deuteronomy 28, verse 25. The Lord shall cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will go out one way against them, but you will flee 7 ways before them, and you will be an example of terror to all the kingdoms of the earth.
So not just defeat, but humiliation. Becoming an object lesson to the whole world about the consequences of defying God. Their suffering was meant to glorify God's justice before the nations.
And it gets deeply personal, striking at the core of their lives. Verses 30 through 32. You shall betroth a wife, but another man will violate her. You shall build a house, but you will not live in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but you will not use its fruit. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, while your eyes look on and yearn for them continually, but there will be nothing you can do.
Just total devastation. Social breakdown, economic ruin, the unbearable emotional pain of losing children to foreigners. These were the declared consequences of breaking covenant. They knew the terms.
And even the psychological impact was foretold. Verse 34 is chilling, especially when we think about that modern advice to save face. Deuteronomy 28.34, you shall be driven mad by the sight of what you see.
So when Israel persistently fell into deep idolatry and rejected God's warnings through prophets like Jeremiah, God was, in a sense, legally and morally bound by his own word, his own character, to enact these curses. He couldn't just wave them away. Ignoring them would be denying himself.
They needed to understand that their exile wasn't proof God was weak or had forgotten them. It was proof that he was a faithful, covenant-keeping God.
Precisely.